Pod Show, Big Sam, Nephews, and Sherry. Hello, everyone.
Yo.
Hello. And today we got a wonderful guest, Big E.
Big E, what's up, Big Sam?
How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm doing good, man. I'm literally living my best life,
I know that's
man.
right.
Yes.
So now
Yeah,
tell
man.
everybody, you used to live here, didn't you? Did you not?
Yep, man, for the last 10 years, man, I've been really contemplating transitioning out of Minnesota. My grandmother lives in Flint. Been trying to put some things together for her. My daughter's been playing sports, and she's a freshman in college right now. And so, man, just things just all started to come to a head, man. Me and my lady started having conversations. She was, when we met, she was in transition too. And so we just started talking about it, man. And we actually just made the move right when the pandemic hit. I talked to, my powers that be in St. Paul Public Schools. I have been in St. Paul Public Schools, man, for 20, 23, 24 years. And, it just a lot of light bulbs and different things started popping on, man, saying, it's probably now or never, And so just went ahead, man, and first I set up the transition for my daughter to get her situated because she's at North Carolina A&T, which the blessing is she's about 4.5 hours down south of me. And then my wife's oldest daughter, she's 18 as well. She's at University of Pittsburgh. And so, it's just, we're all on the East Coast now, man. It's you look at it, you go, man, I'm 48 years old. And, I moved to Minnesota when I was 24, 25 years old, and so you talk about 23 years later, and, time is not waiting for anybody.
No, it doesn't.
And so, man, if you can make moves, man, you got to make the moves while you can, and so, and I always wanted to kind of, start working on putting my grandmother in a better situation. And so we're working on that. So it's giving me a lot of flexibility to kind of work on some things with her and just kind of enjoy life and kind of kick back and just look at things as far as like when you want to retire and what do you want to do as far as other business ventures and different things like that, man, and just kind of kick back and enjoy it.
Now you're originally from Flint, Michigan?
Yes, sir.
Right. I went there one time, and I met you. I met Marty. I didn't know him. I met him back there. But now isn't Fernando Smith? Is he from Flint, Michigan?
Fernando.
Okay,
yeah, Fernando's from Flint.
I'll tell you, don't sleep on Flint, Michigan.
Yeah. You remember back then when Fernando was playing with the Vikings, and
correct.
Actually, man, me and Fernando got a standing appointment every Saturday morning. He's in Orlando, just kind of living off, the fat of the land, as I say it, on permanent vacation, but he's doing very well, man. And he's had some bouts with, his with some different things with his health. And so now, man, he's back in full stride. He's doing well. His family's doing well. Everybody's blessed, man. Finances are blessed. But you remember back when Fernando was, with the Vikings, and we would come and pick you up from KMOJ,
right.
Hey, you guys will get a kick out. You guys will get a kick out of this. We would go and pick up Big Sam, and we pick up Big Sam from KMOJ. He come out the back door when it was over there on Olsen.
Right.
And we go pick up Big Sam, me, Randy Moss, and sometimes we pick up Big Scott. Big Scott is a dean over at Brooklyn Center.
Brooklyn Center, right.
Brooklyn Center High School. And so we go play basketball. And then after we get done playing basketball, we go over and pick up Big Sam, and then we go have lunch every day over at Benihana. And
that's a great lunch there. That is a great lunch.
Yeah, man. So we go way back with Big Sam, man. And so when I talked to Fernando on Saturday, man, I'm gonna make sure I tell him you said what's up. I don't get a chance to talk. I don't get a chance to check in with Moss that much, but I do tweet with him and I support him, you know, in his journey right now, man. I just laughing with my family up here. You got mossed. You know, we were laughing about that earlier.
That was hilarious. I've seen that one too. That was hilarious.
Either that, or cash money, homie. You know, when they just sit there, just stand there with throwing money around, saying, "Man, these boys get money." Yeah, man.
Well, those things. When you look back in those days, man, they were good days, man. They really were. We had a lot of fun. No mischief, just going out, you know, just guys being guys.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes
you know, that's a bless. What you say?
Say sometimes that involves mischief. I don't know. I'm just saying. No, I'm just
yeah. Me and Fernando reflect quite a bit. We try and keep our conversation present, and talk about, you know, business moves and investments, and talk about family, and but we do have those times, man, where we reflect on some of the days in Minnesota. And I would always tell Fernando, man, I'm thankful, man, because I went back to Flint, and I was chasing, basketball journeys to go play basketball overseas, man. And Fernando was like, man, come over here to Minnesota and work out with me. This was the off season for the Vikings. He was like, you can use the facility, you can work out. And one thing led to another, man. And we reflect on those times, man. And I just tell him, I go, we created a situation. We created a situation for me. I didn't know anybody when I moved to the Twin Cities, and he introduced me to Johnny Randall and Big K, Corey Stringer, rest in peace, Derek Alexander, and a lot of the guys, man. So that was kind of my start, in the Twin Cities. And then I had some of the guys introduce me to Howard Pulley. I knew Renee from Flint. I would see them coming over there, but I didn't really know what they were doing. But then I would see some of the guys from Minnesota come back and forth. And so I plugged into, a lot of the guys like Melvin Newbern and Richard Coffey, and a lot of the guys around town, Walter Bond, and got a chance to play some competitive basketball to try and stay in shape, for overseas basketball. I met a lot of good people in Minnesota, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we got some good people here, and there's good people everywhere. But I just think, well, now I understand. I'm hearing the story. I find out now how you ended up here in the Twin Cities. Probably don't want to get here now. It's cold as heck here.
Yep. Man, and to think about it, man, Fernando and we just off of a humbug just started. I ended up staying longer than I was expected to. And then I realized that he needed a lot of help with a lot of things, around the house. And so I told him, I said, I tell you what, I'll stay here, I'll work out, but I will also help you, around here, because he ripping and going and running. And then we from Flint, and so nobody taught us about, money and managing finances and stuff like that, man. We just kind of figured it out on the whim. Right. And so, but after so long, if you don't have, which I didn't, I kind of had my dream that I was chasing, but something in my mind and my spirit was starting to focus more on what's the next move for Big E.
Right.
And I started working with kids, and I got off into a semi-pro basketball opportunity where the coach was talking to me about hanging out late after the game, signing autographs with kids. He's like, Biggie, you the last one on the bus all the time, man. He said, man, when you get done with this, you probably should start working with kids. And I thought about it. I took it serious because I was the last one in the gym, but I wasn't doing it just to be doing it. I was doing it because I appreciated doing it.
Right.
And so, man, that was 97. And that's when I started in St. Paul School, started as a volunteer.
Wow.
And then I just kept going. Fernando was still with the Vikings, about to be in transition. And he was getting ready to get traded to the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I told him, I said, man, I think this is where we part ways. I think this is it. And so he left, I stayed, and long story short, man, I ended up progressing all the way to the administrative level in St. Paul schools, and I really just spent most of my career in St. Paul. I did a little bit of work in Minneapolis, but for the most part, I did my work in schools in St. Paul, but I did a lot of work in the community in Minneapolis, North Minneapolis, did some good stuff with KMOJ, did a lot of good things in St. Paul as far as community goes, Catholic charities. And so, man, Minnesota is the place. When I talk about my home, I know I'm born and raised in Flint, man, but I went through a whole lot of growing up in Minnesota. And I'm
that was kind
thankful
of
for
like
that.
that was kind of like your growing up period in life, right?
Absolutely.
Wow,
Yep.
that's amazing. That
Yep.
is amazing.
And when my daughter came, man, when Ari came, she's 18 now. She'll be 19 in May. But man, when Ari came, I said it was for 18 years for sure I'm gonna be here.
Right.
And so, man, that's kind of what she kind of kept me stable and kept me there too, man. So yeah.
And now she plays a rigorous sport, right?
Yeah, she's in volleyball. Yeah, she's at North Carolina A&T.
And that's fun. That's great too. I didn't mean to cut you off, but
it's
I
all
am
good,
cutting
man.
you off. But a lot of times, people. Now, did you? I guess what I'm trying to ask: did you come out to the East Coast just to be closer to your daughter?
You know what, man? It kind of worked out that way. And we had a couple opportunities because she talked to me about she wanted me to consider Charlotte because I think the last 10 years of her life, man, me and her got really close, and then me being an educator. And you do so much research and look at some things about how you raise kids and what's the best thing for kids. I always play basketball. I never push her in the basketball. I just kind of say, you know what, baby girl, as long as you do school, that's it. And so the last 3 years of her high school experience, we became really good friends, man. And I learned how to be her friend and not just be her dad and just be super protective. And before I knew it, she was doing more calling me and making suggestions because I started talking to her. I say, Pops is about to have an empty nest, so empty nest come. I said, baby girl, you gonna go off to school and Pop gonna fly right. I don't know if I'm gonna end up in Texas because I went down to Texas. I took Royce down to, with the Rockets. And I said, I don't know if I'm gonna go back to Houston. I'm gonna go back over here with Grandma. I'm not gonna go back to Flint because I didn't want to be in Flint. Love Flint, man. But a lot has changed there. And I didn't really know. And so
like the water.
Yeah, absolutely. The water and a lot more things, man.
Right.
So, it just kind of worked out that way, man. And like I said, my lady was gung ho about DC because she works in the VA. And so, that opportunity was there for her too. And so it's like, man, God is just kind of aligning the stars. And so, man, a lot of times, in life, when growing up in Flint, man, we didn't have nothing, and so when you start seeing things line up, man, you go off of your energy, you go off of your gut, and and I'm a good dude. I try and do good things in the community and try and support people, whenever I can, man. I feel like this was kind of like all coming full circle, saying, you know what, now your daughter is right down south, so I don't need to be up under her. She need to grow up too. But the other thing is I can slide down there and check in on her. It's just a little 4-hour drive or a quick 45-minute flight, and so family's here, man. So it's a blessing all the way around.
Well, that's good because a lot of times, you think, you're going to go one place and you end up somewhere else. And I bet you probably said to yourself, how I end up there, but it doesn't make any difference how you end up there. You end up in the right place.
Absolutely, man. Yep. Blessed beyond measure, man. And like I said, just to put together a plan, and then being in the middle of a pandemic, man. Me and my lady, we talked about that. I said, man, you know what? You don't know what's getting ready to happen in this world, man. The most important thing is to do what, the right thing to do. If you got resources and different things to be able to make moves, And make moves, man. Right now is a time for everybody to get closer to their family. Focus on what their next move is, and keep trying to build up the ladder, stay healthy, and then as a black male, in this world and the different things that we're challenged with, we've been challenged with things for years. But now, man, it's like, you know what, man, let me go ahead. I'm 48, so let me go ahead and grind on some things that I know I need to grind on.
Right.
I'm still going to give back to these black boys in the community around here where I'm at too, and just keep trying to do good, man.
Yep.
Yeah, just keep trying to do good, man.
It's crazy, Biggie. That's a little bit of my story, not my story, but I'm like 44. I'll be 44 this year, and I'm like moving to transition too, and I'm like, wife's like, yo, what we gonna do? And I'm like, man, I don't know. I mean, I lived in DC before. I lived down in Atlanta, and now I'm sitting there looking like, man, like my job is in Cali, and I'm like, man, I could move back to Cali, but I was like, man, I got to make some money. I've been having some opportunity to go to DC. I always loved living there. Houston, I kind of feel, I feel you, man. My daughter, but see, my kids are here, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to go yet because my daughter's in college here, my sons are here, and I'm like, I don't want to go yet. So, yeah, man, I'm about to be the empty nest, and I'm like, dude, you got like 3 more years, homie. I was like, and we out, we out. So yeah, I definitely feel you. I try to travel to DC as much as possible. My boys that I used to play basketball with, they're always doing something in their community there. So we try to get everybody together, old basketball players or whatever, and try to, do some fundraising and stuff like that. So I know whenever I come up there, I'll definitely hit you up. And if you need me to come up there and raise some money, man, I'm always down for it.
Okay, man. I appreciate that.
He's going to hold you to it, too.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
I'll be there. I need some rainbow sauce anyway. You know what that is.
By the time you get over here, man, they talking about we right next. We probably like 20 minutes away from Prince George County, and they talk about these boys over here, KD from over here, and Jeff Green and Delonte. They said, look, cats over here. They got a documentary out about Prince George County. Say the documentary is called what is it
PG
called?
Boys.
PG something in the water or something like that, where it's like they got a lot of so I want to see.
I was there at that time.
I could go watch, or I could go and just find me somewhere where I could do the pick and roll with. I still got the tray ball,
Just stand on the outside, eat. That's what we're gonna do. Just stand up.
Stand there and watch.
Hey, DC is like Flint, man. Like I've been up to Flint a couple. DC is like that Flint mentality. Like PG is that Flint mentality. You know what I'm saying? Like real. There's a lot of guard game up there. When I moved up there, I was like, man, look, man, I'm like bumping and grinding, man. I'm trying to dunk on you and do something. They was like, nah, man, you got to do this. But yeah, it's different though. I mean, you would definitely be like, man, I could do this.
Yeah, man, right now, man, I'm about fellowship. When I left from over there, right before the pandemic, we had a little group of guys that was going, Kerry Sutherland.
Right.
Kerry was plugging us in over at Lifetime Fitness. And these young guys, man, invited me over to the gym. And mind you, I've been playing pickup ball at Lifetime Fitness, but these cats, man, and Cujo and Caleb and PJ Hill, and I mean they still running, And so, man, the first day I went over there, man, we played. They started like 5:30 in the morning, and so I was late going to work. I was trying to get my game, get my footing right. Man, I said, you know what? 2 weeks, man. Give me 2 weeks. Because, man, they dogged me so bad, man. Cujo was talking stuff. I basically raised Cujo. Cujo worked with the Timberwolves right now, but he played at South Dakota and played overseas. And I'm like, man, I'm 48. Cujo's probably like 28, But they invited me to the gym, and I think they invited me to the gym so they could take advantage of me. And so I said, give me about 2 weeks, man. Give me about 2 weeks. Man, I spent that 2 weeks, man, trying to get myself in shape, man. It just wasn't working. It wasn't working. And by the time that 2 weeks came, man, I got my tray ball working, and I had a guy that was coming to the gym with us. His name Caleb, and Caleb played at Pepperdine. Man, when I tell you, I put Caleb in that pick and roll, and we only playing the 15 by 2s and 3s. So the PJ didn't run off a couple of 3-pointers. The game is over.
Yeah, that's a quick game.
And they shoot. Boy, we got that pick and roll. I say, yeah, I got him one good day. I said, all I need was one day to let y'all know. I remind you what I used to do. But, man, I said, you know what? I'm going to come watch y'all play from now on.
Yeah, Father Time is not kind to you at all.
I know that feeling.
Man, he undefeated. Father Time is undefeated, man.
Yes, he is.
With them surgeries you just had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all that when you play, people don't realize, man, you beat your body up. I got arthritis everywhere. And my knees took the brunt of it. Plus, I still played competitively at the YWCA till I was 50. So when I couldn't start getting out of bed in the morning, I was like, yes, I'm done.
Damn, I'm early then.
Hey man, who's the brother on the line with the Puma sweater on, man?
Hey,
that's another nephew of mine.
Hey, what's going on, bro?
How you feeling, man?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. I see with the LA in the background, you support Magic Johnson.
Oh, of course. I stay with the LA somewhere around.
Okay.
I mean, he was only born there. I mean, he was only born.
I mean, but why? But why do we got to go through this? I mean, come on. Really? Fine, whatever. Yeah, sorry I'm late, guys. I just happened to be coaching the game today, so.
Who are you coaching?
Coach AAU, a team called B3 Academy down here in Atlanta.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we didn't win the championship. We went against the kids, some kids from Chicago, which we all know about y'all Midwest guys. Y'all come down here, y'all really want to put some work in, and the guys weren't ready. So
man,
we ended it pretty early, but it was all good. It was a good game though.
I just remember when I went to Flint. Remember Charlie Bell, right?
Yeah.
He tore up the AAU team that came from here to go down there to play him. It was me, the deceased, what was Keith's last name? Anyway, he passed away, and we went down there to Flint, and they kept talking about Charlie Bell. I had never seen Charlie Bell, didn't know him, didn't know nothing about him. But at the end of the day, I knew who Charlie Bell was.
Yeah.
And he was nothing nice. Nothing nice.
He's a machine, man. He's a machine.
Man,
yeah.
They got some ballers down in Flint, man. Ballers.
Man, it's kind of like bittersweet right now because I think a lot of the kids, man, don't have the opportunity that we had, right. Because of it's so far and in between. Things are so spread out, and then somebody see one of the kids. Yeah. Who got a little bit of game, they automatically start thinking about the future and money and all this thing, where we weren't really talking about that. We were just talking about trying to get down to Detroit and play against Chris Webber them.
Right.
But then I think Charlie Bell, Flintstones, Mo Pete, Cleaves, Robert played football and basketball, Fernando's little brother. But that was kind of the end of the, that was right at the start of the one and done. And
right.
So, man, a lot of it, man, a lot of the kids in Flint, man, aren't getting those opportunities because of it's so spread out now, and they're starting to push a lot of kids into certain areas and combine them and cluster them in certain schools where you can only get 12 kids on a team. Right. So now you got to go all the way out to 50 miles away from Flint just to go to school, and you out of some suburb. And so they're not getting that good inner city competition anymore that they used to get. And so you can go in the city, man, and you could see Charlie Bell going against Mo Pete and Mateen. And, so it's a lot different now where I like what's happening in Minnesota with sports, the coaching, you got some coaches who've been dedicated for years, especially over at North, and you got around town, Donna De La Salle, or whether you over at Robbinsdale. You know, you
Right.
got a lot of things happening in the Twin Cities where there's opportunity there for the kids. But in cities like Flint, it's just so spread out now, man, that it's starting to become a lost art. Yeah.
How I'm looking for time, nephew?
We got like 6 minutes, Uncle.
Okay. Yeah, but you know, it's funny because now, back when you played and back when I played, I'm 66 years old, so, and like a lot of people don't remember, I used to work for the Timberwolves for like 5 years. So they're like, really? I said, yeah, I did for 5 years. But really, the Timberwolves aren't that good. They just aren't. And I tell you, it's my own opinion that who
whose
was it?
TV is that loud in the background, Sam?
Not mine.
It could be me. I'm in a TCU, so I.
Oh, can you mute yourself? Don't let me bring out don't let me bring my administrator hat out.
Do it, Biggie. I asked her multiple times.
I said.
I sound like I'm
Can
in
you,
a damn meeting.
Can you? Yeah.
Mute yourself.
There, my bad.
There you go.
I wasn't even.
All right, Sam, make your point about Timberwolves because I got to get ready to get out of here too. My wife we got a little Super Bowl party we're going to.
Oh,
Gotta give me a second step, Lanta.
Thank you, Cherry. We love you.
but anyway, they just, you know, they don't. Well, first of all, real quick, they don't have a good coach. I like Ryan Saunders a lot, but not a good coach. Not a good NBA coach.
Or do you think it's more organizational though?
Yeah, it is. It's always been organizational. Always.
You know, I was, you know, interesting enough. I was talking to somebody, man. I bet you about it was a month ago, and we were talking about Timberwolves and what needed to happen over there with the sport and stuff like that, man. And I know that the last situation that Timberwolves were in, and it really was all Minnesota sports when the Vikings had an opportunity to win something big. They broke everybody up. Dante and Moss fell out, or so they say.
Right.
You know, all that foolishness. And then same thing with the baseball team. You let Torrey Hunter go. You let Jock Jones go. Y'all had a chance to win something big then.
Yep.
And then you had Timberwolves when they had Sprewell, Sam Cassell,
and KG,
T. Hud. You know, they had a Zerby. They had a squad, and it was actually right there against the Lakers playing against Kobe. Them.
Yeah,
They were calling T. Hud they were calling T. Hud the Laker killer.
Yeah,
you remember that? And so, but then right after that, they broke the team up, and they had the issue with Sprewell's asking for money and, you know, asking for a couple $100,000 more than 14 million. So they were gonna give him 14. He wanted 14.2.
He got to feed his family. I got to feed my family. I need more of that.
I don't think that people really. I mean, you need somebody to come in at the GM level that's going to shake it up for sure. You know, like you got teams with these nucleuses, and I thought, okay, we got Cat, we got Big Cat. I thought we was going to have something. We had Wiggins. You know, you got a nucleus that can grow together. It's just going to take some time for the Timberwolves, man. They'll be all right. But they're going to have to take their lumps.
Well, they about to catch another number one draft pick. I know that much. Where they playing?
They're going to have to do that. They're going to have to do that because look at Atlanta. When you say you down in Atlanta, look at Atlanta right now.
Yep.
And
they good.
They going to gel. They're going to get a little bit older. They got Capella down there. They got Young down there. The boy Collins. Collins ain't no pushover in the post.
No.
And so they got a nucleus that they can work with. So Timberwolves will be all right. It's going to take them a few years.
Yeah, they just have to stay out the business of, hey man, we need to win now. I'm like, dude, there's a lot of better teams like this.
Right. But the other thing is, we gotta shut it down too. But I want to thank Big E for coming on. I gotta have you back on, man. Big E, at some point in time.
Man, you call whenever you call me, man. We can always politic, man. It's a blessing to see y'all, man. Y'all stay healthy, stay ahead of the game, and stay involved with the kids in the community, man.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate y'all, man.
Thank you very much,
y'all.
Big
Take
E.
it easy.
Take it easy.
Okay, Sam. All right, man.
And I want to shut the show down, but I want to thank everybody for listening to our show. We are on YouTube every Monday. We come on. We do another show every Monday. You're going to put it out tomorrow and keep it rolling. And we have a lot of old shows too from year before last year and now this year. So we're rolling. We're trying to make it happen, you know. But I also want to thank. I got some other guests coming on down the road. I got some. I hope everybody likes our guests because it just, you know, it's just talking about not just Minnesota sports, but just sports in general, you know.
Right.
So we good?
We good.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you.
It's good to see everyone.
Thank you, Parker. Thank you, Javier. I want to thank my family very much. And we'll see you next week.